Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The annual tradition on this channel continues. Welcome to my full playoff sim. For those of you who do not know what we do in this video, it's not good enough for me to just sit there and be like, okay, this team won. No, we go game by game, series by series, and track how it all plays out. Now this year, of course, things are a little bit different because of COVID in the way that the divisions have been restructured. So allow me to explain to you the bracket. As you go to NHL.com on the standings page, the Colorado Avalanche as President's Trophy winners are listed first. The second division listed is the Central, meaning Carolina was the second strongest team. So what we've done is put Colorado on one side of the bracket, Carolina on the other. The lowest ranked division is the North. So we have the North and the West here on the left-hand side. Of course, in the real-life Cup Final, you could see Colorado and Toronto play each other. It's very well possible, but for this, of course, we have limitations. When it comes to the lines as well, for the most part, what I did was go best lines, but I wanted to make sure that players who were never going to appear in this upcoming playoffs aren't in. So, for example, I made sure that Washington's goaltender wasn't Henrik Lundqvist. The Florida Panthers do not have Aaron Ekblad, so on and so forth. So the line combos might not be perfect, but then again, if someone comes back in Game 3 of a series, it was never going to be perfect to begin with. So remember, this is all for good fun. It might not be perfect, but we are going to find out who is going to win the Stanley Cup. So let's get down to business, although I do want to say before that, if you want to take part in the bracket challenge that we have going on this year as well, shout out to the car in the background, we're running with it. If you want to take part in the bracket challenge this year, link is in the description and probably in the comments as well. And of course, if you want to see how I filled out my bracket for the bracket challenge, a video went up yesterday, so you can see just exactly how I did that. And if you want my full thoughts on what I think is going to happen in each series, the Tukey's Take podcast is the place. It's up on this channel in video form, as well as on Spotify, Apple, Google, etc., etc. Just search Tukey's Take. We begin this journey. Who knows how long it will take, but we begin with St. Louis and Colorado. It is game number 1. Let's see who takes this. The Avs strike first. JT Compher and Mikko Rantanen. Second period, and the Avs are running away with it. Kadri, Compher, Kadri, and Rantanen. Tarasenko, the lone goal for the Blues. Third period, the Blues get another one. It's Tarasenko again, but all in all, a dominant 6-2 victory for the Avs in game number 1. We move to the north. Toronto and Montreal. My God, what a series this could be. First period, a goal apiece, Kotkaniemi and Pierre Engvall. Second period, scoreless. Third period, Toronto wins it. Nylander scores, Stahl ties it. Pierre Engvall, have yourself a day. Last night being Friday night, he actually did pretty well in that game, so shout out to Pierre Engvall doing well. Freddie Anderson is getting the starts, tried to make sure that it was Jack Campbell, but at the end of the day, based on the 2 goalies that you have signed or assigned into the lineup, it goes with the highest overall. So hey, Toronto has Freddie Anderson. It is what it is. We move on to Nashville and Carolina. Game number 1. Can the Preds pull off an upset, both here and in real life? First period, Hurricanes strike first. Dougie Hamilton with 2 seconds left. Second period, 1-1 now with Philip Forsberg. And in the third, we're going to overtime. Ekholm and Martinook tied it up with 1:23 to go. And in OT, Carolina survives. So by the skin of their teeth to tie it, they take it in OT. Teuvo Teravainen. Very close game. I think we could see a similar series in that way. A very close series, all things considered. But again, the Hurricanes take game 1. Islanders and Penguins, the 2019 rematch. First period, Pittsburgh remembers that rematch. Aston Reese, Jankowski, and McCann with the goals. Second period, it's now 5-1. Barzell scores, but Carter and McCann again make it 5-1. And in the third, it gets worse. Zucker and Malkin, Beauvillier the lone goal for the Islanders. 7-2, the final score, a blowout. So much for the strong defensive system of one Barry Trotz. Didn't work out too well there. Minnesota and Vegas. The first game of this series. First period, 1-0 to the Golden Knights. Jonathan Marchessault. Second period, now 3-0. Theodore and Carlson. And in the third, Minnesota put up a fight with Zuccarello and Bonino, but it's Ryan Reeves with the lone goal of that period for the Knights. They win it 4-2. and take game one. Marc-Andre Fleury getting it done, much like he has all season long. Winnipeg at Edmonton. Boy, are the Jets underdogs. Let's see what happens here. First period is scoreless. Second period is scoreless. Third period is not. Edmonton finally broke through. Kulikov, Draisaitl, and Cahoon. Maybe not the two out of three. Probably not who you would have expected. But the Oilers take game one, a 34-save shutout of all things for one Mike Smith. The Battle of Florida. The Lightning and the Panthers. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Total of 5 goals. Huberdeau, Kucherov, Point, Yandel, and Cirelli. And in the third, the Lightning hold on to win. Alex Killorn gets the winning goal. Sam Bennett's goal with 51 seconds left. Too little, too late. And the defending champions take game number one. And then we get to our final game one of this video. It is Boston and Washington. My goodness, can I not wait for this. It starts tonight, of course. First period, 1-0 Bruins. Nick Ritchie. Second period, now 2-1. Ritchie again. Tom Wilson for the Caps. And in the third, the Bruins hold on to win. 2-1 in game number one. Ritchie and Rask getting it done for the Bees in that one. We move on to game number two. Blues and Avs. Let's see how this plays out. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. The Blues strike first. Power play goal from Torrey Krug. And in the third, it holds on. So Jordan Binnington with a big bounce back performance there in game number two. A 34-save shutout as Torrey Krug got the lone goal. Game two as well now. Montreal and Toronto. First period scoreless. Second period is not. Lehkonen the lone goal for the Habs. And in the third, that'll do it. Jeff Petrie with the insurance. A 2-0 victory for Montreal. Carey Price with a 33-save shutout. Well done there for the Habs. Preds and Canes. Let's see how this one goes. First period, and it's Steven Lorentz with the opening goal. Second period, now 3-0, Teravainen and Niederreiter. And in the third, it ends up being 4-1. Svechnikov gets it. Duchesne breaks the shutout with 6 seconds to go. But the damage is done. The Hurricanes take game number two in pretty convincing fashion. Islanders and Penguins now with their second game. First period, scoreless. Second period, scoreless. Third period, not scoreless. The Islanders win it. Bailey and Matt Martin get it done. The lone goal for the Penguins from Zach Aston Reese. And the Islanders are back in this one. 35 saves from Semyon Varlamov in that one. Minnesota and Vegas. Let's see if Kaprizov can wake up a little bit. First period, Jesus. Marchessault, Carlson, Kolsar, and Nick Waugh. It is 4-0. Second period, now 4-1 with Jared Spurgeon getting a goal back. And in the third, it ends up being 4-2. Ryan Suter scores from center ice. 4-2 final for the Vegas Golden Knights as they absolutely dominate. Cam Talbot shut the door beyond the first period. Oilers and Jets, their second game. First period here, now 2-1. It's McDavid and Kara. Wheeler got the opening goal. Second period, now 3-2 for the Jets. Perreault and Connor. Of course, they're without Nick Ehlers. And third period, the Jets win it. Wheeler and Stastny, Puljujarvi, and Kulikov scored, but again, too little, too late. Winnipeg hanging in there against Edmonton. Who saw that coming? The Battle of Florida again. Lightning with a 1-0 lead. First period and a 1-0 lead now in this game. Alex Killorn picks up where he left off. Second period is scoreless, and in the third, 2 goals for the Lightning will do it. Point and Gord, Duclair's goal, the only one of the game for Florida, as the Lightning win this one convincingly and take a 2-0 series lead. And again, our final game too. It is Boston and Washington. Let's see how it plays out. First period, scoreless. Second period, not scoreless. Connor Sherry with the goal. And in the third, Washington explodes. Hathaway, Oshie, Hall scores for the Bruins with Mantha and an empty netter for Ovechkin. 5-1 is the final. The Caps taking this one and evening up this series. Huge performance for them. Speaking of even series, all but 3 are even so far. It's Colorado and St. Louis, game number 2. Let's see how this one plays out. First period, 2-0 Colorado, Landeskog and Comfer. Second period, goal apiece, Makar and Tarasenko. And in the third, it's another goal apiece effort. A second goal from Makar. Kyle Clifford gets one back for the Blues. Too little, too late. 4-2 is the final. Great performance there from Cale Makar. Toronto and Montreal. Let's see how this one plays out. First period, and the Habs strike first. Corey Perry with the goal. Second period, goal apiece, Josh Anderson and Wayne Simmons. And in the third, the Leafs tie it. Anderson made it 3-1, but Matthews and Simmons, 2 goals. As almost as late as you can get. We're going to overtime where Montreal wins it anyway. It's Cole Caulfield in overtime. Who else would it be? Caulfield wins the day for the Habs. Seriously, who else would it have been? Great effort there from one Josh Anderson as well. Big win for the Habs. Carolina looking to take a 3-0 series lead here on Nashville. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Goal apiece to Lorentz again and Olivier. Unlikely goal scorers. Third period, and the Hurricanes do win it. Jordan Martinook with 2:33 to go. The Canes take that commanding 3-0 series lead no matter what UC Saros tries to do. Penguins and Islanders now in game number 3. First period, Islanders strike first, Jordan Eberle. Second period, Penguins tie it with Chad Ruhwedel. And in the third, 2 goals apiece, Letang and Malkin in the middle of Eberle. And his 2 goals were tied at 3. And in overtime, we don't find a winner. In double overtime, we do. The Penguins win it. Evgeny Malkin tied it. Evgeny Malkin wins it. The Penguins back in control of this series, fending off a Jordan Eberle hat trick. It just wasn't enough. So we move on. Vegas as well, trying to take a 3-0 lead on Minnesota. First period, 2 goals for the Wild, Hartman and Dumba. Second period, now and make it 3, Ryan Hartman. And in the third, a good fight from Vegas, but it was 4-0 after a Parise goal. Waugh and Carlson, again, too little too late. Minnesota back in the series, perhaps. Great performance from Hartman and Parise, who in real life, his time with the Wild might be coming to a close. It's Edmonton and Winnipeg next. Let's see how this one plays out. First period, goal apiece, Ennis and Kopp. Second period, Neil Pionk gets it. And in the third, Winnipeg adds the insurance. Jordy Ben, of all people, gets the empty net goal. And Connor Hellebuck shuts the door, as he could potentially do in real life. The Jets are alive in that series. They're up 2-1. It's Tampa up 2-0. Can they make it 3 here against Florida? First period, great start for the Cats. Vetrano, Tippett, and Barkov. Sergachev with the lone goal for the Lightning. Second period, Florida's looking good. Duclair and Yandel. Stammer gets one back for the Champs. And in the third, Florida just runs away with it. Hornqvist and Verhaeghe. 7-2, the final score for the Lightning. Great performance from one Keith Yandel. And the Panthers are back in it. Of course, we get to our final game 3 now. It's Washington and Boston. The Caps fresh off of a big win. First period, 2-1 Washington. Carlson with 2 goals. Curtis Lazar gets one for the Bruins. Second period, still 2-1. Third period, it finishes that way. Incredible performance from John Carlson. His 2 goals in the first period seals the deal. Great performance from Rask. The team in front of him didn't show up, and the Caps take a 2-1 lead. So we have just one 3-0 series scoreline. Colorado is up here on St. Louis heading into game 4. First period, now 2-1. Gerard and Makar for the Avs. Justin Falk for the Blues. Second period, high scoring. Clifford, Thomas, and Hoffman for St. Louis. Taves and Jost for the Avs. Third period, 2 more goals apiece. Jost and Nichushkin, Clifford, and Blais. It is 6-all heading into overtime, and the winner is Colorado. Nazem Kadri short-handed. A monumental, a mammoth, a titanic performance there. As Sammy Blais with 4 points, it wasn't enough. I mean, back and forth, a heavyweight bout to say the least. As Colorado wins it. Montreal and Toronto. Let's see how this one plays out. First period, 2-1 Habs. Romanoff and Kotkaniemi. Wayne Simmons for the Leafs. Second period, now 3-2 Montreal. Kerfoot and Petrie. And then the third, where you go to overtime. Foligno and Matthews finally gets his first goal. Josh Anderson scored again. In overtime, Montreal takes it. Yoel Armia. And the Habs have a 3-1 series lead on the Leafs. Can you imagine Reddit? Can you imagine Twitter? Carolina looks to end their series here against Nashville. First period, 3-1 for the Canes. Necas Svechnikov with 2. Ben Harper gets a goal for the Preds. Second period, Nashville ties it. Johansson and Granlund. And in the third, we ended up going to overtime. Morgan Geekie and Matt Benning. Can Nashville keep their series and their season alive? We'll find out in double overtime, and they can. It's Eric Holla, the former Cane, who keeps Nashville alive and helps them avoid the sweep. Ben Harper had a 3-point game. Of all people, put him in instead of Gudbranson because he was higher rated. It's Pittsburgh and the Islanders now. See what the Penguins can do winning this series. First period, 1-0, Evgeny Malkin. Second period, the Islanders strike back Barzal and Eberle. And in the third, Pittsburgh just destroys Carter, Ceci, Kapanen, and an empty netter for Brian Rust. What a third period there for the Pens. Jason Zucker with a basket of apples. And that series now at a 3-1 split. We have yet to see a 2-2 split as we go to Vegas and Minnesota. See how this one plays out. First period, 1-0 Wild, Zach Parise. Second period, we are tied, Matthias Janmark. And in the third, Vegas wins it. Marchessault and Janmark again with the insurance. Vegas pushing Minnesota to the brink. Another strong performance from Marc-Andre Fleury. We go to Winnipeg and Edmonton. The Jets with a surprise lead so far. First period, 1-0 Jets with Kyle Connor. Second period, now 2-1, Nugent Hopkins and Wheeler. And in the third, Edmonton comes back to win it. Neal, and Turris with the win is what I was thinking of. Edmonton makes it a 2-all series. What an effort there from Wheeler. As well, another name just to cause some controversy in the series. We do get our first 2-2 split. Tampa plays Florida, of course. See how game number 4 happens to go. First period, 5 goals, 3 unanswered. Gord, Sergachev point, Hornqvist and Forsling get 2 back. Second period, now tied at 3, Nola Chari. And in the third, well, we see a goal apiece and we end up going to OT. Stamkos and Tippett. And in overtime, Florida wins it. Anthony Duclair, huge comeback performance there. Outscoring the Lightning 3-1. I mean, really, yeah, it was 5-1 beyond the first 3 goals there for the Lightning. Huge win. Washington looking to push Boston to the brink. First period, scoreless. Second period, not so much. David Krejci gets the goal. And in the third, there we go, a goal apiece. Jake DeBrusk scores. It's so unnatural for me to say Jake DeBrusk scores this season. Scores. On Samsonov. Scores. Ovechkin gets one late. Too little, too late. 2-1 win for the Bruins. You'll love to see it. Jake DeBrusk scores. Gets 2 points in that one. So here we go. Colorado, a chance to eliminate St. Louis. Can they get it done? First period, goal apiece, Perron and McKinnon. Second period, goal apiece, Belmar and Sanford. Third period, and the Avalanche have sent St. Louis packing in 5 games. Jost Falk, but then Nathan McKinnon gets it done. The Avs move on. Nathan McKinnon with the 2 goals, Makar with the 3 assists. And again, Colorado moves on. Can Montreal join them in the next round? That is the question. First period, 2-1 Habs, Tavares, but then Armia and Caulfield. Second period, 7-1 Montreal. Cole Caulfield has a hat trick. Tatar, Lehkonen, and Danault as well. And in the third, it's 8-2. The Montreal Canadiens upset the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 games. Caulfield with a hat trick. Shea Weber with 5 assists. My God, the internet would be so spicy. Unbelievable there. Carolina looking to finish off Nashville. First period, a 1-0 Canes with Svechnikov scoring. Second period, goal apiece, Aho and Granlund. And in the third, Carolina does the deed. 2 goals for Svechnikov. Granlund scores late, too late in fact. And Carolina moves on, dispatching of the Preds in 5 games as well. The big names showing up there. So 3 series are already done. Pittsburgh looking to make it 4. Can they eliminate the Islanders? First period is goalless. Second period is not. 3 goals apiece. Marino, Clutterbuck, Pulak, Malkin, Nelson, and Malkin again. And in the third, Pittsburgh gets it done. Zucker and Eberle. Jeff Carter scores with 41 seconds left to eliminate the Islanders and to gain revenge for 2 years prior. Vegas looking to end their series in 5 as well. First period, 2-0 for the Golden Knights, Waugh and Pacioretty. Second period, now 4-0, Waugh and Carrier. Third period, that'll do it. Stevenson and Carlson. Brodin, the lone goal for the Wild. And ultimately, Vegas just too much for Minnesota to handle. The Golden Knights also move on. We go to our first series of this match day, essentially, that cannot see a team eliminated. Winnipeg scores first, Derek Forbort. Second period, 2 goals for the Jets, Perreault and Stanley. McDavid, the lone goal for the Oilers. And in the third, Winnipeg gets it done. Turris for the Oilers, but then Wheeler and Scheifele. And the Jets have pushed the Oilers to the brink. Interesting. Another 2-2 here. Lightning and Panthers. First period, 2-1 Cats, Marchment and Huberdeau. Cirelli for the Lightning. Second period, now tied at 3, Coleman, Palat, Hornqvist on the other side there for the Panthers. And in the third, Florida wins it. Nikita Gusev getting it done. The late season addition from New Jersey, really through free agency. The Panthers have the champions on the ropes. And our final matchup, it is Boston and Washington. First period, 2 goals for the Bruins, Krejci and Marchand. Second period, Washington scores with Mantha. And in the third, that'll do it. A goalless third period. The Bruins win 2-1 and push the Capitals to the brink of elimination. With that, we are right back to Edmonton and Winnipeg. Can the Jets get it done and eliminate McDavid and the Oilers? Here we go. First period, 2-0 for Edmonton. Ennis and Draisaitl. Second period, now 3-0. Puljujarvi scores. And in the third, they shut it down. 3-0 is the score. Game 7 coming up between the Oilers and the Jets as well. Now, Florida looking to eliminate the Lightning. Can they do so? First period, goalless. Second period, Florida scores. Nikita Gusev picks up where he left off. Third, Tampa survives. Kucherov, Johnson, and Sergachev. That series is also going 7. A strong performance from Bobrovsky. It just wasn't enough. And one more time, can the Bruins eliminate Washington, or can the Caps force Game 7? First period, goalless. Second period, 3 for the Caps. Oshie, Ovechkin, and Kuznetsov all on the power play. And in the third, the Bruins tie it. Unbelievable. Marchand, Marchand, and Brandon Carlo. In overtime, the Caps force Game 7. It's Nick Dowd getting the job done. So we have yet another Game 7. Gigantic game there for Ovi, especially physically. So here we go. We have 3 Game 7s in the first round. It's Winnipeg and Edmonton first. Let's see how it plays out. First period, 2-0 Jets, Lowry and Kopp. Second period, the Oilers get one back. Can they survive? No, they cannot. The Winnipeg Jets destroy them in the third period. DeMello, Kopp, and 2 goals from PLD. The Winnipeg Jets pull off the first round upset of the Edmonton Oilers. Who saw that coming? They move on. Florida looking to eliminate the defending champions. First period, they get the opening goal with Duclair. Second period, Florida piling it on. Barkov, Achari, and Hornqvist. And in the third, the Lightning put up a fight, but it was too little too late with Johnson in point. Sam Bennett gets the insurance. The Florida Panthers eliminate the defending Stanley Cup champion, Tampa Bay Lightning. There will be new kings crowned. One final game here in the first round, Boston and Washington. First period, 2-0 Caps, Ovechkin and Dowd. Second period, scoreless. Third period, that'll do it. Marchand scores. Oshie ends it. The Capitals move on in 7, winning the game 3-1. A huge moment there. We are off to round number 2. Beautiful round number 2 where Colorado plays Vegas and Winnipeg plays Montreal. On the flip side, it's Carolina, Florida, and of course, Pittsburgh and Washington, ever present to say the least. So game 1, between these two Titans. First period, 2-0 Vegas, Theodore and Carlson. Second period, now 2-1 with McKinnon scoring. And in the third, Vegas gets it done. Riley Smith, the insurance, 3-1. Your final score in that first game, Pietrangelo leading the way as the first star of the game. Who saw this coming? Montreal and Winnipeg, 2 upsets in the first round. First period, 3-1 for the Habs. Perry Toffoli finally getting on the board. Nate Thompson scored for the Jets. Second period, now 4-3 for Winnipeg. Stastny, Thompson, Scheifele. Third period, and Montreal wins it. Lehkonen and who else? Cole Caulfield scoring the winning goal. What a ridiculous back and forth sim that was. Unbelievable stuff. Montreal taking game 1. Florida and Carolina. Let's see how this one plays out. First period, 1 goal apiece for Hagee and Teravainen. Second period, 2 goals for the Cats, Montour and Achari. Third period, Carolina gets one back with Jordan Staal. Too little too late. Florida takes game 1 thanks to the likes of Carter Verhaeghe. We have Washington and Pittsburgh, our final first round matchup, or second round matchup, first game of said round. First period, goal apiece, Hagelin and Dumoulin. Second period, Rust, Hagelin, Marino, Oshie, Gensel, it's 4-3. Third period, it ends up being 6-5. Eller, Letang, Mantha, Gensel. With 4 seconds left, Jake Gensel is the hero and helps Pittsburgh win game number 1. 3 big star players for Pittsburgh getting it done. We go on to game number 2. Vegas and Colorado. First period, 4-2 Golden Knights. Glass, White Cloud, Theodore, Pietrangelo, Burakovsky, and McKinnon score for the Avs. Second period, it's Rantanen and Pacioretty. I don't think Glass was supposed to be in. I'm surprised that he is. That's pretty weird. Third period ends 6-5 as Colorado put up a good fight. 2:05 left. Chandler Stevenson wins it. For the Vegas Golden Knights, they take, I believe, a 2-0 series lead. And Pietrangelo, another big game, 4 points in the books. Big 4 points in the books. Montreal and Winnipeg. Let's see what they can do. First period, goalless. Second period, not so much. Forbert and Stastny for the Jets. Third period, goal apiece. Thompson gets it done. Toffoli breaks the shutout, but that's all they can do. 3-1 Winnipeg win, and they are right back in this series. It's at a game apiece. We go to Florida and Carolina. The Panthers taking game 1. Game 2 starts off goalless. Second period, 3-2 now. It was Duclair, Shea, Niederreiter, Vetrano, and Barkov. Third period, more goals. Teravainen, Barkov. A hat trick for Sasha Barkov. And Florida has a 2-0 series lead. We go back to Pittsburgh and Washington. The Penguins winning game 1 very, very late. First period, goalless. Second period, not so much. Justin Schultz, the former Penn, gets the goal. Third period, and Pittsburgh explodes. Carter, 2 goals for Malkin. Brian Dumoulin, the empty netter. The Penguins have a 2-0 series lead. Evgeny Malkin is going off in these playoffs right now, although Sasha Barkov is the leading scorer. Colorado and Vegas, the Knights with a 2-0 series lead. Let's see what they can do. First period, goalless. Second period, Colorado with 2, Kadri and Landeskog. Third period, and they get that shutout. McKinnon, an empty netter. A 3-0 win for the Avs. Grubauer with 25 saves. Colorado's back in the series. 1-1 split between the Jets and the Habs. Let's see how this goes. First period, goalless. Second period, 2-1 Winnipeg with Dubois and Thompson. Lehkonen scoring for the Habs. Third period, and Winnipeg will take it. Josh Morrissey gets the GWG. Lehkonen scored again, but they couldn't get that extra goal. So the Winnipeg Jets right now just riding a red-hot Connor Hellebuck to glory here. A chance for the Panthers to take a 3-0 series lead. We haven't seen one yet. First period, 1-0 Cats, Carter Verhaeghe. Second period, 2-1 Cats, Trocheck and Vetrano. Third period, and the Florida Panthers are 1 win away from the conference final. Owen Tippett and Sasha Barkov getting it done. Sergei Bobrovsky, 33 saves. Things are looking very good for Florida right now. 7-3 leading the way. Pittsburgh looking to take a 3-0 lead on Washington as well. First period, good start there. Shrugging off 2 goals from Zucker and Malkin. It's Ovi, Oshie, and Hagelin. Second period is goalless. Third period is not goal apiece. Sherry gets the GWG. McCann's goal, just not enough to get them there. Washington back in the series. Great game for TJ Oshie and Connor Sherry with 2 points apiece. And with that, we begin the next set of games. Game 4 across the board. It is Vegas with a 2-1 lead on Colorado. Let's see how this goes. First period, 3-0 Avs. Kadri, Nichushkin, and Landeskog. Second period, it's now 4 with Devon Taves. And in the third, goal apiece, Marchessault and McKinnon. A dominant win for Colorado. Grubauer with 24 saves. Great work there for the Avs to tie that up at 2 apiece. As Winnipeg looks to push Montreal to the brink. First period, 1-0 Habs. Edmondson scores. Second period, now 4-1 Habs. Weber, Petrie, and Perry. Wheeler the lone goal for the Jets. Third period, 6-1 Montreal. Edmondson again, and Kotkaniemi. Montreal ties it at 2 apiece. What a game for Joel Edmondson and Corey Perry, of all people to step up. Can the Florida Panthers become the first team to punch their ticket to the conference final? First period, now down 2-0 Carolina. To Carolina, it's Teravainen and Fost. Second period, now 3-0 Carolina. Yanni Hakanpää scores. And in the third, Carolina put up a fight, but it was too little too late with the Strawman and Duclair goals. Trocheck, the former Cat, got the insurance 4-2. And the Hurricanes are back in the series. Big moment for them there. Now at 3-1. Pittsburgh trying to get that same scoreline here on Washington. First period, goalless. Second period, 2 goals for Pittsburgh, McCann and Zucker. Third period, 5-0 Penguins, the final score. Carter, Ruedel, and Kapanen get the job done. Tristan Jarry, a 29-save shutout, and the Capitals are 1 loss away from elimination. We go to game number 5, Vegas and Colorado. First period, 2-1 Avs, McKinnon and Rantanen. Marchessault the lone goal for the Knights. Second period, goalless. Third period, 3 more goals for Colorado. Landeskog, Kadri, and McDonald, who's in the lineup. Colorado, huge win for them. A 40-save effort from Philip Grubauer. He has been phenomenal. And Colorado now 1 win away from the conference final. We go to this 2-2 split, Montreal and Winnipeg. First period, 1-0 Jets with Neil Pionk. Second period, still 1-0 Jets. Third period, now 3-0 Winnipeg. Trevor Lewis, Mark Scheifele, the Jets continuing to get it done, riding the hot goaltending as mentioned of one Connor Hellebuck. They are 1 win away from a showdown with Colorado, which I believe, based off of the teams that are left, is exactly what would happen. Colorado would play Winnipeg. Florida would play Pittsburgh. So there you go. It's playing out in a realistic way so far. Can Florida indeed work their way past Carolina? First period, goal apiece, Fost and Hornqvist. Second period, goalless. Third period, and the Florida Panthers are moving on. A second goal for Patrick Hornqvist. And the Cats eliminate not only the Lightning, but now the Carolina Hurricanes. The Cardiac Cats moving on to the conference final. Will they be playing Pittsburgh? Can the Penguins close out this series? First period, 2-1 Washington. Carter the opening goal, but then Mantha and Dillon score. Second period, now 3-all. Mantha scores, Crosby and Jankowski. Crosby's been quiet. It's 3-all. Third period, and Washington lives to fight another day. Ovechkin and Tom Wilson with the goals. 5-3. Your final score, big game for one Anthony Mantha. And again, they live to fight another day. Can the Vegas Golden Knights do that? They're down 3-2 here. Can Colorado punch their ticket to round 3? First period, 2-0 Avs. Soderberg and Landeskog. Second period, now 5-3. Smith, Landeskog, Rantanen, Pacioretty, Landeskog, Cody Glass. And in the third, Colorado gets it done. Nathan McKinnon makes it 6-3. The Avalanche are going to the conference final. Landeskog with a hat trick in the deciding game. Can Winnipeg get it done and beat Montreal? First period, 2-1 Habs. Tatar with both goals. Kyle Connor with the one for the Jets. Second period, scoreless. Third period, that'll do it. Montreal forces Game 7, I do believe, off the back of that 2-goal performance from Tomas Tatar. And indeed, it will be Game 7. Can Washington do the same? Or will the Penguins move on? First period, 2-0 Pittsburgh, Marino and Sevier. Second period, now 3-0 Chris Letang. Third period, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, despite Zdeno Chara scoring what could be his last goal ever, the Penguins are moving on to the third round. Tristan Jarry, another strong performance. So the question is, which Canadian team will move on to play Colorado? Like I said, in real life, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it would be. No matter what, Winnipeg or Montreal would be the lowest seed that Colorado could face. So the playoffs stay as they should. The question is, again, who's it going to be? Both teams in an upset in round one. I'd say Winnipeg very much the underdogs here regardless. First period, goal apiece, Perreault and Tatar. Second period, now 2-1 Montreal, Tyler Toffoli. I think I said Tyler Toffoli. Third period, and the Habs are moving on. Scheifele scores, Tatar again, and the empty netter for Gustafsson. The Habs are going to play Colorado in the Final Four. Unbelievable. Montreal, Colorado, Pittsburgh, and Florida. 3 Eastern Conference teams in the Final Four. Here we go. It's game number 1. Can Montreal pull off the miracle? First period, 2-0 Avs, Rantanen and Soderberg. Second period, now 3-1 Belmar and Stahl. Third period, 5-1 Colorado, Donskoy and Soderberg again. And the Avs take game 1 in pretty convincing fashion, to say the least. Game 1 now between Florida and Pittsburgh. First period, goalless. Second period, 2-1 now for Pittsburgh. Zucker and Jankowski. It's Hornqvist for Florida. And in the third, Pittsburgh holds on. Sidney Crosby, the insurance. The Penguins take game 1. We'll go to game number 2, Montreal and Colorado. Let's see how this plays out. First period, 2-2, Tatar and Stahl, McDonald, McKinnon. Second period, now 3-2, Nathan McKinnon scores again. Third period, 5-4 is your final. Frolik and Deneau tried. Taves scores. Rantanen wins it with 13 seconds left. The Habs tied it in the final minute. Rantanen gets it back to win. A heartbreaking loss for the Habs. McKinnon, one hell of a game. Colorado up 2-0. The Penguins will look to take the same exact series lead. First period, goalless. Second period, 2-0 Florida. Huberdeau and Verhaeghe. Third period, and that'll do it. Sergei Bobrovsky with a 29-save shutout, I presume. Indeed. What an effort there. And the Panthers tied up at 1 apiece. Colorado now looking to take a 3-0 lead. Can they do it? First period, 1 goal apiece, Stahl and Taves. Second period, goalless. Third period, Montreal wins it. Arturi Lehkonen is the hero. Again, they're without Drouin. They're without Gallagher. The Habs are still making it happen. They take game 3 and stay alive in this series. Or at least, don't fall into a horrible situation. It's a 1-1 split between these two teams. First period, goalless. Second period, not so much. Florida up 2-1 after Barkov and Huberdeau scored. Gensel has the goal for Pittsburgh. Third period, and Florida wins. Malkin scores. Montour wins it. Just over 5 minutes left in the period. What an effort again from Sergei Bobrovsky. And we will see what happens here. Both series at a 2-1 split. So here we go now. It is game number 4. Let's do this. Colorado and Montreal. First period, 1-0 Habs. Joel Armia. Second period, now 3-1 Montreal. Anderson and Tatar. Kadri scores for the Avs. Third period, 4-1 Montreal. Eric Gustafsson on the power play. And the Habs are staying in there. 37 saves for Price. They're sticking around, tied at 2. Let's see if Florida can take that 3-1 series lead. First period, and they get the opening goal. Brandon Montour picking up where he left off. Second period, 1-1 with Letang. Third period, and the Penguins win it. Mark Jankowski is the hero. Tristan Jarry very much so as well. Both series tied at 2 games apiece. Look at Nathan McKinnon, good lord. Here we go, game number 5. Habs and Avs. First period, 2-0 Montreal. Tatar and Deneau. Second period, now 2-2. Yost, and McKinnon. Third period, goal apiece, Yost and Caulfield. And in overtime, the Habs win it. Michael Frolik. Montreal 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Final, potentially upsetting Toronto, beating Winnipeg, and upsetting Colorado along the way. We'll see if it happens. Who's going to have a chance to end it in game number 6 here on this series. First period, 1-0 Penguins, Kasperi Kapanen. Second period, now 3-2, Crosby and Kapanen again, Weegar and Huberdeau for the Cats. Third period, and Florida comes from behind to win it. Duclair, Wenberg, and Carter Verhaeghe gets the winning goal, offsetting Seavier's tying goal there. Tremendous work for Verhaeghe. He's had an incredible postseason. And again, the Panthers now have a 3-2 lead. Are we destined? I mean, you could talk about a rematch of 96, but we might be destined for Florida and Montreal. Here we go. Can the Habs make this happen? First period, 2-0, Frolik and Anderson. Second period, 3-0, Philip Deneau. Third period, the Montreal Canadiens are going to the Stanley Cup Final. 2 goals for Toffoli. Unbelievable. Montreal does it and eliminates Colorado. Will they play Florida? Or can Pittsburgh force Game 7 to at least delay that? First period, 3-1 Penguins for Weedle, Gensel, and Aston Reese. Verhaeghe scores for the Panthers. Second period, now tied at 4. Nudivara, Montour, and Huberdeau. Jankowski the lone goal for Pittsburgh. Third period, tied at 5. Yandel and Jared McCann saves the season with 57 seconds to go. And in overtime, Florida wins it. Nikita Gusev gets the Panthers all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. Can you believe it? The Stanley Cup, according to EA, with their rosters, with their ratings, it is Montreal and Florida. I'll look at the entirety of the stats afterwards. Let's get down to business. Game 1 of the Cup Final. Here we go. First period, 2-1 Florida, Strawman and Hornqvist. Second period, now 2-1 with Petrie scoring. Third period, tied at 2. Tyler Toffoli sends it to overtime, where Florida wins it. Gustav Forsling gets it done. Bobrovsky with 37 saves, and a hell of a job there for the Cats. Now 3 wins away from the Cup. Second game of this Cup Final. Let's see how it goes. First period, 1-0 Florida, Jonathan Huberdeau. Second period, now 2-1 Montreal, Petrie and Deneau. Third period, Florida falls 4-1. Petrie and Armia, the empty netter. This Cup Final is tied at 1 apiece. We go to Game 3. I have no idea which way this is going to go. Game number 3. First period, 1-0 Habs, Thomas Tatar. Second period, now 2-1 Huberdeau, but offset by Cole Caulfield. Third period, and Montreal wins again. Anderson and Lehkonen. Huberdeau tried, but only got so far. What a performance from Arturi Lehkonen in these playoffs. The Habs now up 2-1. Game 4. Oh, so important. First period, 1-0 Florida, Alex Wenberg, a minute in. Second period, now 2-0 Carter Verhaeghe. Third period, they get one, but it's not enough from Josh Anderson. The Cup Final is tied at 2 apiece. Goodness gracious. Game number 5. First period, 2 goals apiece. Bennett and Duclair, Caulfield and Lehkonen. Second period, Florida now up 3-2 with Barkov. Third period, 4-3 is the final. Barkov again. Gustafsson too late. The Florida Panthers, 1 win away from the Stanley Cup, the first in their team's history. Can they do it, is the question. It's Game 6 of the Cup Final. First period, 1-0 Cats. Sasha Barkov. Second period, tied at 1. Corey Perry. We gotta slow sim this because the Cup is on the line. Huberdeau scores. It's 2-1. Is this it for the Florida Panthers? Have they done this? Have I thought ahead? Part of me feels like this is only Game 5. The other part of me feels like Florida's about to win the Stanley Cup. They may very well. Montreal ties it with Tatar. I'm not going to jump in now. We have to see what happens, though. Who's it going to be? Double overtime coming up. Florida wins it. Noel Achari with the double overtime winner. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. As much as I wanted to see them raise it, couldn't risk watching through overtime and maybe even double overtime. The Cats get it done and eliminate the Habs in 6. That was an unbelievable bracket in terms of how that played out. Montreal pulling off the upsets. Incredible stuff. But they fall in 6 to the Florida Panthers, who we'll look at here first. And I mean, for Florida, Barkov, Huberdeau, Verhaeghe, Hornqvist, and Gusev. I mean, they definitely got that secondary scoring. No doubt about that. And defensively with Yandel, Strawman, Montour, Forsling. Goaltending-wise, Sergei Bobrovsky and Chris Drieger in the one game he appeared in. Spectacular goaltending was the key for Florida. For Montreal, no real elite-level scores. Like, pretty much everyone across the board got it done. Cole Caulfield led the way. Armia was the lowest scoring guy, but he had 4 goals. I think, obviously, their biggest issue is, being without Gallagher. That really didn't help. Romanoff at just 4 points. Carey Price was great at a 9-19, but not good enough. And ultimately then to look elsewhere, I mean, for the Bruins, they fell in round 1. Get a look at their stats. I mean, Bergeron with just 2 points. Pasternak, no goals, 1 assist. And, I can't make a single video without something like that happening. All right, EA. You do you. Don't worry about it. For the defenseman, oh, it's happening again. It's happened again. It's happened again. Good God Almighty. It's happened again. Tuukka was great. The offense just wasn't there. For Carolina, only 10 games for them. I think you can see secondary scoring was a pretty big issue for them. Defensively, I mean, 2 points for Hamilton. The defense just didn't really put up points. Peter Mrazek was great. Again, just a lack of scoring. For Colorado, Philip Grubauer just couldn't get it done by the end. A 9.06 is a big part of the reason as to why they fell. 11 points for Jacob McDonald. Figure that one out. Dan Renouf was in the lineup too, apparently. Nathan McKinnon was a beast. But there was no secondary scoring. And the goaltending wasn't what it needed to be. For Edmonton, I mean, Connor McDavid had 3 points in 7 games. Same output as Kyle Turris. So, shout out to EA's Sim Engine. Not always the best. It's happened again. Mike Smith only put up a 909. Minnesota got abysmal goaltending from Kaapo Kähkönen. Defensively, no real points to show. Minnesota just got brutalized by Vegas in round number 1. Zach Parise led the way. Kaprizov just 1 point. Yeah, what is with this duplication deal? Nashville through 5 games. Granlund was great. Jarnkrok was solid. And then obviously just nothing. Arvidsson, just nothing doing there. Defensively, Ben Harper led the way, which I think says all that you need to know. And UC Saros with an 898. So the magic for UC kind of ran out. The magic for Varlamov ran out. He was pretty bad. The defense didn't really do much. Ryan Pulock was terrible. And then forward-wise, Eberle and Barzal did well, but not much else from there, including 7 Oliver Wahlstroms. There's only so much he can do. For Pittsburgh, Malkin was great. Crosby was great. Only had the 3 goals, though, but ultimately they couldn't make their way past Florida for whatever reason. It's got to be goaltending, right? Yeah, Jarry at just a 903, even though he had a shutout. St. Louis, Bennington just was not good enough. Straight 8s in the games that he played. Scandella, Bortuzzo, Wallman, no points from them. David Perron led the way, but, no goals from Ryan O'Reilly. Hoffman didn't do anything. Kyrou, Shen, Schwartz. I mean, a lot of the big-name players for the Blues didn't show up. Tampa, I mean, a shocking first-round loss. The offense appears to have been there, especially from Patrick Maroon. The defensive production seems to be there. Vasilevsky had to 846. Interesting. For Toronto, Freddie Anderson was abysmal. So, I mean, really, you saw some of the higher-rated goalies just absolutely struggled defensively. They were abysmal, especially Hutton and Dermott. And then, yeah, I mean, Matthews, Marner, the output just wasn't there. Absolutely wasn't there. For Vegas, I mean, secondary scoring was okay, given the fact they played 11 games. Defensively, Pietrangelo was great. Goaltending, though, only an .885 for Fleury. Seems to have all come down to goaltending. Samsonov with a .914. Must be secondary scoring for the Caps here, right? Yeah, kind of. I mean, they really did have the haves and the have-nots. I mean, they lost a pretty close series to Pittsburgh. And then Winnipeg, .922 for Hellebuck. Big part of the reason, as if not the biggest reason, to why they made it there. But there you go. That's how it's going to play out. The Florida Panthers, according to EA, are going to win the Stanley Cup in 6 games over Montreal. We'll see if that's how it plays out. For those of you that made it here to the end, I thank you very much, of course. Keep an eye on the channel, of course, for more things NHL 21 related, more things hockey related, of course, as the playoffs are underway. Again, you can find a link to our bracket challenge down below. Make sure to check out the podcast as well if you haven't, if you want to hear my thoughts on all the real-life first-round matchups. And, of course, pay attention to the podcast as we go throughout the playoffs. I will see you all very soon. Have a good one. Take it easy. And let's hope the Bruins don't lose in 7, please. Or at all. Or that Montreal doesn't make it to a cup final. Although if Montreal makes it to a cup final just to lose, can you imagine the Reddit posts? Just scrumptious.